It's taken decades and hundreds of millions of dollars to develop, but this is to be the world's first mass-produced electric car.
It is time to get the electric vehicles out of the lab, into the showroom, and onto the road.
Two days out of 3, Los Angeles sits under a canopy of smog.
I was a student at Caltech in the 60s, and there were days when the smog was so bad that people would have tears coming down their face, even though they were happy. I got to thinking, what can be the technical solutions? This was the original Electrospirit proposal in 1985 that was not funded.
It made its name at the end of last year by winning the World Solar Challenge race across Australia.
The GM Sunracer was a revolutionary design for a solar-powered vehicle. And the fact that the Sunracer did so well, it won the race by a day and a half, we were able to go back and say, okay, we want to work with you, General Motors, so that we could have the second proposal, known as the impact proposal. The idea was that a passenger vehicle could be built which would not only have utility, but would be fun to drive. We came to the conclusion that it would be possible to do 0 to 60 miles an hour in 8 seconds, which was unheard of for an electric vehicle. I had the dream about driving something like this. So I got in, pushed a button for forward, and stepped on the accelerator all the way. The acceleration was incredible. It was a very exciting moment for me, seeing the engineering now come alive.
California has the toughest air quality standards anywhere, but LA cannot meet them.
I had a meeting with CARB. I did not mention the name General Motors. I just said a large car company. They assumed it was Ford, and so I said, no, bigger.
People have a concept of electric vehicles that they're essentially golf carts and they're not going to be viable. What GM proved with the impact is that if you go about it right, it could be made a viable product.
The building of the impact motivated the ZEV mandate. Then with the ZEV mandate in place, General Motors was basically forced to build an electric car. And they took what they had with the impact and made the EV1.
The electric car is here.
This vehicle captured not only the imagination of people who drove it, but also the imagination of engineers who thought, okay, if it's this good now, think what I can maybe add to make it even better. The EV1 effort cost General Motors $1 billion. There were people that wanted to shut it down as soon as possible. It's difficult when you're a car company making gasoline cars to talk about the advantages of electric cars of being emission-free, because you're having to imply that the rest of your product line does not meet that requirement. They concluded that the EV1 was not going to be profitable. As the electric cars were being taken away from their owners, there was a mock funeral in Hollywood.
I believe that as a country we're taking a wrong turn. I hope we will realize that and get back on the highway of progress.
The crushing of the EV1 and more broadly the bringing to the end of that electric vehicle era set us back years in the automotive fight to get vehicles that would be free of carbon emissions. Had we not done that, had in fact the spirit been one of saying, yes, we're losing money on this, but we have a vision, my guess is that General Motors would be ahead of where Tesla is right now, had that been the case.